Hey guys, Prowl1701 here, and today we're going to be ranking Series 12 of Doctor Who, the latest series to come out. And we're going to start with the bottom one in 10th place, which is The Timeless Children. Man, what a way to ruin a series' reputation. Because Series 12 had been going pretty well for the most part, pretty consistently. And then this one, ooh, it's a stinker. I don't mind the idea of pre-Hartnell doctors. I've talked about that before, but making the Doctor from another universe, the reason the Time Lords are Time Lords, endless generations, a child being tortured, is just blah. The Cybermen once again being made somebody else's bitch, the Masters again, the Cyber Time Lords. I've talked before about how all of this is stupid. All of this is stupid. The Cybermen being beaten by a Deus Ex Machina thing where their whole ship gets blown up and they're all suddenly destroyed and not a problem. This episode's just a mess. It's a mess. And it's terrible. One of the worst Doctor Who episodes ever. Number 9 on the list is Can You Hear Me? I actually enjoyed excuse me, Can You Hear Me as I was watching it. The ending ruined it for me. Because it's so fast. This might have worked better as a two-parter where it had more room to breathe. One of the advantages Classic Who has with its stories being longer and it can be more fleshed out. Because I like some of the things this is dealing with. I like some of the ideas. I love when the gods come into play. I love like the reference to the toy maker and the Eternals. That's all that kind of stuff is really neat. I like the guy playing the male of the gods. He's genuinely creepy. With the fingers and everything. It's that whole bit about how she beats him by hacking her fingers with the screwdriver. Or hacking his fingers with the screwdriver. He just hacks the fingers and turns them against him. Well, that screwdriver really can do anything, can it? The screwdriver can hack the fingers of a god, but it still can't work on wood. Huh? I don't get it. And yeah, that just kind of ruins the episode. It's done too fast. I guess it spends so much time setting up the threat that they're like, crap, we're running out of time. What's some way we can fix this real quick? Do we have something for, plot convenience? The sonic screwdriver? Write that in. So I wish they'd made it a two-parter. Because of that, it kind of ruins the episode for me. Let's see. Where's number 8? Orphan 55. Not everything in Orphan 55 is bad. The older couple gets really annoying. Especially the lady with the Benny. I can always remember his name. Benny. Oh, when she got killed, I was cheering. I was like, oh, thank God. She's out of the way. Good. No more of that nonsense. I did like the beginning when they're kind of in the resort. And then when stuff starts going wrong, you don't really see the creatures. They're just kind of in the shadow. That's genuinely creepy, and I enjoy that. I like when Ryan is talking with the girl and the 13th Doctor not picking up on that they're actually talking. Just kind of butts in. It's very 13th Doctor. And honestly, even a lot of the other Doctors, they don't really catch those kind of social norms. They don't really catch on to that. So I kind of enjoy that little awkward moment there. I really like the reveal, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Orphan 55, spoiler alert. I really like the reveal that they're on Earth. Because I didn't see that coming. And I will give that to them. Because that is kind of a trope now. Almost a cliche. It's definitely not groundbreaking like when Planet of the Apes did it. Or Beneath the Planet of the Apes. This reveal is actually a lot similar to Beneath the Planet of the Apes. But I never caught on to that. It did such a good job of establishing the look outside and the name Orphan 55 that it never even occurred to me that it might be Earth. So I will actually give a kudos to that I did not see that coming. And I thought that part of the story was actually pulled off really well. The speech at the end is awful. Because like a lot of people, I feel like she's talking to the audience. It's very preachy. It's very rammed down your throat, the way the camera angles are done. And stuff like this can be done successfully. You look at the ending of Doctor Who and the Silurians from Classic Who with John Pertwee at the end when the Brigadier ends up blowing up the mines and John gives his little speech about that's murder. I mean, he's kind of looking at the camera. He's actually looking slightly off from the camera, which may be why it works. Plus, Pertwee is just so good at doing this kind of scene. He's such a good actor. You can tell he's supposed to be talking to Liz because she's sitting right next to him. Plus, some actors just have that ability to where even though the actor is looking at the camera saying his lines, the character is looking like past the camera. Kind of like Sam Neill in Jurassic Park when he first sees the Brontosaurus or Brachiosaurus or whatever it's supposed to be. You know, when he first sees it and he's shocked. And even though Sam is looking at the camera, we can pick up on that his character, Dr. Grant, is looking at the dinosaur. And that's how it is in the Silurians. You can tell it's John not looking at the camera, even though its camera's pointed right at him. But in this one, it doesn't feel like that. Whittaker's just not pulling this off. And it might not be her fault. It could be the lighting, it could be the camera angles. But it just feels so preachy the way her body language is. I don't feel like she's talking to the companions. Because it's not cutting back and forth between her and them either, I don't think. It feels like she's trying to talk directly to us saying, this is bad. And no duh. We can figure that out. You don't have to hit me with a sledgehammer to get your point across. And that does kind of ruin the episode. Bad endings can ruin an episode for me. Let's see. Number 7 on the list is Praxis. Now, I don't actually hate Praxis. I just find it very forgettable. I just find it uninteresting. I do like the guys who are in like the hazmat suits who have been taken over by it. I find them genuinely creepy. Not like super creepy, but kind of creepy, kind of off. So I do like them. I don't really like the effect when people die from it. It just looks kind of cheap to me. Doesn't really get the point across to me. Yeah, I think it could have been a little more gruesome, to be honest. I think that would have worked better. And then like the one guy who's keeping the lookout, who's standing like 100 feet away from the house. I'll go keep an eye out for the birds, and then doesn't just go out of the house, but goes down the beach a little bit. Are you stupid? Like me, if they're like, we want you to keep an eye outside, man, I'd have had my head poking out the door. I'd been standing right out the door. I mean, it's like he's standing away from the house, and then things start to go wrong. And he's like, uh-oh, and the house is that far away. No kidding. I was waiting for that guy to get it. I'm like, this isn't going to go well for him. This is going to end badly. I mean, that's just, that kind of stupid writing bothers me just in that one particular instance. So it's not a bad episode. It's just a forgettable episode. I do think Pete did a better job with Kerblam, honestly. Number 6 on the list is Ascension of the Cybermen. Now, I actually like this one. We're actually getting into stories I like. One, I like the idea of it picking up after the Cyber War, which we've heard mentioned before. I really like the design of the Cybermen in this one because it does kind of harken back to the classic series, especially with the face. So I really like this cyber design. I hope we get to see it again. I like how everything at the beginning just kind of goes to crap, even though the Doctor sets up, she sets up defenses, but she's not expecting the flying heads. And on their own, I think the flying heads are silly, but I like them as the idea of something the Doctor wasn't expecting, and she basically gets outmaneuvered here. And of course, a lot of the humans that are there in the future get killed. The idea of them ending up on this ship and finding out, holy crap, there's this many Cybermen running around here, and realizing just how screwed they are. The chances they have to take in the one ship just trying to land into the cyber ship. I actually really enjoy Ascension of the Cybermen. It's just a shame that part 2 of that story, just let it down so badly. What are we on? Number 5. Oh yeah, The Haunting of Villa Dee, or however you say it. I really like this one. I like how they bring Mary Shelley into the lore. I know she's been in Big Finish with the 8th Doctor. And I like how they basically introduce of her perhaps coming up with the idea for Frankenstein from meeting the Cyberman, because he really is a Frankenstein of different cyber designs. First off, I like the fact that a good portion of this story doesn't have him in it, or we don't know he's in it. It really is just trying to figure out what's going on, Mary Shelley looking for her husband, The dimensions of the house they're in not making sense. You walk out of a room just to walk back into the room somehow. I really like everything that's going on here. A lot of mystery. Seeing the little silhouette out there, which I figured might be a Cyberman, because we know we're supposed to meet a lone Cyberman at some point. That had been discussed before. And it looks kind of like the silhouette from Army of Ghosts. That's what I was thinking of when I was watching it. And to see this new take on the Cyberman, I thought was neat. I really liked the lone Cyberman. I thought he was a neat concept. I thought he was a neat design. I like that he's not like most Cybermen, that he actually still has his emotions, and that he actually hates himself. And the fact you almost have a moment with him when he's talking about his children, just to have that completely turn and go the other way is completely unexpected. There's a lot of good in this episode. Let's see, number 4 is Tesla's Night of Terror. I really like this one. This is basically a better version of Vincent and the Doctor, because I do think Vincent and the Doctor is very overrated. That's another video entirely. Because whereas Vincent and the Doctor is a very depressing story and ends on a very depressing note, I like how the Tesla story ends on a very happy note, very optimistic note, which I enjoy. Because Tesla doesn't just go into the future with her, because that's, to me, that's kind of silly. I like the lines that end it, the bit about, something or another of the future, and the future is mine. And he walks off with a smile. I love that. Perfect way to end that episode. I like learning more about Tesla there and how he kind of helps save the Earth. That's pretty cool in the story. I don't quite think it's a good idea to have Thomas Edison learning about the TARDIS. Thomas Edison strikes me as the kind of guy who would try to use this to his advantage in some way in real life. Plus, I just don't always like historical figures learning about the TARDIS and time travel. It just happens a little too often in the modern series. But I like that I like the alien race and how they're basically scavengers. They don't know how to make anything themselves, so they steal stuff. That's a neat concept. I like they had the girl that plays the Ronnie, not the Ronnie, the girl that plays Ronnie in the Sarah Jane Adventures playing her. That was nice. I enjoy that. I like when they kind of bring back actors in-house like that. And plus, I just think it's a good story. I enjoyed it when I was watching it, because I was especially trying to figure out what was going on with the aliens that can make themselves look like people. And again, I really liked that ending. Again, an ending can really make or break an episode for me. And the way that ends with him saying that line about "in the future is mine" and walking off, such a positive, optimistic, inspiring note. And again, like I said, I like this episode a lot better than I like Vincent and the Doctor. So it ranks really high on my list. Number 3 is Spyfall Part 2. I enjoy this episode overall. I do think it has way too many plots it leaves hanging. Like the guy who's basically the Steve Jobs stand-in, he gets away. We never see him again. The creatures from the other universe that are just the glowing lights, we don't quite see them again. They're, episode 1 works them up as to be a threat. Maybe there'll be a problem the whole season. We don't know. And then they kind of get rid of them in the second episode, and we never hear from them again. They don't really live up to the promise there. And then the Master gets caught in that other place that he somehow gets out of that we never get an explanation of, although that is kind of par for the course there. And then Gallifrey. I don't really like Gallifrey getting destroyed again, because it seems like they run out of ideas, so they're retreading old ground, just kind of stealing some of the... It's basically like a greatest hits of Doctor Who sometimes, and I don't really care for that. It kind of invalidates everything Matt Smith did to get the Time Lords back. And, that whole conversation with the curator about finding Gallifrey. It just seems like it invalidates it all now that the Time Lords are all gone again. It seemed unnecessary, and they did it simply to add an edge to the 12th Doctor, kind of take it back to the Russell T Davies era where there's a darker side to the Doctor, and it just seemed unnecessary. But it's still a good episode. Episode number 2 is Fugitive of the Judoon, which is a really good one. I really like this. There's so much going on. This whole story is just boom, 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 going. It's nice to see the Judoon back. I like them. I think they're a fun character, or a fun race. I enjoy seeing them. I really like everything going on here. I like all the reveals. I like seeing Jack back. That was unexpected. I really enjoyed that when he popped up. I love that he thought Graham was the Doctor. That's really funny. I love it when people mistake Graham for the Doctor. I just enjoy that. I enjoy Ruth and the reveal about her. That's such a shocking twist for, spoiler alert, I love that she turns out to be the Doctor. That's neat. Trying to figure out where her Doctor fit in the timeline was very fascinating. I think Joe Martin does a great job playing her. And there's just so much good in this episode. I really, really enjoyed it. It doesn't let up. And that's also why number 1 on my list is Spyfall Part 1. This is a great series opener. This is a great way to start a series. Again, it's very James Bond-like, very action-oriented. And again, it doesn't really let up. It kind of keeps going. I like the beginning. Has a little humor in it with the MI6 or whoever it is, MI5, whatever, picking up all the companions. And I like the little bit when they find the Doctor and Graham's just like, worst Uber ride ever. I love that. And then them getting attacked in the car is a pretty neat scene. Having Stephen Fry in it is really awesome. Just for him to get killed, I'm like, they killed Stephen Fry. Oh. And then when he gets shot, he goes, oh, oh. When he says, oh, not even realizing that he's saying the letter O, because he probably catches on that it's O that kills him. I didn't even catch that the first time I watched. Naturally, it was when I went back and rewatched it. I'm like, oh, I see. And then being introduced to O, and the fact that the Doctor, they do a good job of communicating that the Doctor and O have met before, and that they're colleagues, and that they get along, so you're kind of lulled into a false sense of security about him. Again, I'm going into spoilers if for some reason you haven't seen Spyfall Part 1 yet. So the reveal at the end with him, especially since I don't think anybody expected the Master to come back this soon, plus the Master had kind of a good turn toward the end as Missy. So to see the Master come back so soon and to be basically the Master again, very unexpected, very delightful. I love that whole scene. It pays off really well. I enjoyed the setup that episode 1 does with these alien races that glow like a light bulb, trying to figure out what's up with this Stephen Jobs guy, who all's working with who. Then you throw the Master in at the end on a heck of a cliffhanger with him telling her that everything she knows is a lie. Oh, that was a long week for episode 2. That is how you start a new series. You leave people wanting more. And ooh, this series could be a firecracker. And it was. Of the 10 episodes, I like 6 of them. I find one of them forgettable, and I dislike 3 of them. It's pretty good considering Series 11 really isn't that great. I mean, there's 2 episodes that are, maybe 3 episodes that are good. Not good, but good. They're watchable, and then most of the series isn't. So for Series 12 to be quite a turnaround for me, I enjoyed it. So what do you think of Series 12? Did you like it better than Series 11? Is it okay for you? Or are you sitting there going, ugh, this is terrible. When am I going to get my next Troughton animation, please? I'm curious. Comment down below. I always enjoy interacting with you guys. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. I have started a Patreon page. If you would like to help me out with that, there's a link to that down in the description below. But most importantly, stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.